Hi and welcome to my videos about vintage HiFi. In these videos I'll be looking at vintage HiFi, stuff I've got, giving a few reviews and maybe a few tips, and taking one or two apart, showing you inside and cleaning them up and showing you how to change bulbs, etc. So yeah, it may be interested in this, I think, some people. There is a couple of other channels that, well, one in particular does similar things, reviews on vintage HiFi. He's been going about a year, even though he's had 40 years experience, a lot more than me, even though we're probably near enough the same age. I've kind of been into HiFi in the 70s, like, 78, somewhere around there, 77, 78, to probably about 84, something like that. Then I've given the kind of miss, then I've come back into it now. So I've lost a lot of stuff, I've missed a load of stuff that's been happening. Though I've got a couple of people that I know that have got some top end HiFi, some really top end, like into the many thousands. So I have listened to that as well. So I'm going to give my honest review, what I think they sound like, and maybe not as detailed as Stereo Review X. That is one of the channels that I look at now. Like I say, he's been going about a year now. I'm going to put a link down below. Definitely worth a visit. And the other person who I view a lot is Tech Mode. I mean, quite well known Tech Mode. He's come up to 1 million subscribers now, and he does come on with HiFi tapes and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth a visit there as well. You probably already know about him anyway. But yeah, this is another list. I've got a list here again in front of me. It's in no particular order whatsoever, but it's just going to go over things about trying to buy this as cheap as possible, and mainly on eBay. Just a few tips on eBay, to help you out buying stuff there, I think. So first of all, obviously you're looking for an item. You may not want a particular model. You may just want to get one, just to connect up your record player or CD, a pair of speakers, and that's you finished. But like me and quite a few other people, they're going to be buying more than one. They want a collection, you know what I mean? They're going to put it in the cupboard, and they're going to pull one out one week and listen to it. They're going to pull out one another week and listen to that, and so forth. It's just like an hobby, like really. Like people collect stamps and other things. Obviously, it's a bit more bulkier. But yeah, just an hobby for some people and an interest. Anyway, I'll be giving my honest opinion. I'm no expert, like I say, so it may sound rubbish to some people, I don't know, but it will be an honest opinion. And most of the stuff, nothing would be more than £200, I would have thought, that's for certain, because if you're buying lots of them, it soon adds up. And I may get a dearer one at some stage. We'll just see what happens. Depends how far I get into it. But I've got quite a few models at the moment. I'm still looking. I've got God knows how many on eBay I'm watching at the moment. But yeah. So right, first of all, what do I look for? And maybe some tips I can give you as well. Well, when you're scrolling down eBay, you're obviously looking for certain models, certain prices and stuff like that you're after. And obviously you bring up the advert and everything, and the geezer's got untested, so you know that's. Then with untested, I look at that and think to myself, untested. So I look at what other stuff he's sold on there or selling on there at a particular time, because he may well have another tuner or another amplifier or another record deck on there that he's saying tested works fine. Yet this one he's saying untested. So to me, well, he could test that one. Why can't he test this one? So this one sounds like it definitely don't work, because or something wrong with it. Because a minute ago he's got one here that's tested, all works fine. That's lovely jubbly, that one. But this one here is untested, so it's not quite right in my eyes. You know, if you can test one, you can test the other. So just be wary of that. Look what he sold or selling recently and how he described it. Now, if he's put everything untested, like there are some sellers, and I bought a few items off of them, that every single thing's untested. So, and I've got it up, I've got it here, like, been sent to me, opened it up, and it worked fine. Nothing wrong with it. So that was an honest seller. And every listing was untested, and rather than saying he's tested it, it was like one of these people do house clearances, so like he was getting hundreds and hundreds of items in at a time, and obviously he couldn't be bothered to plug them in, and he'd rather just a quick buck, and it sorted, like he was happy. Obviously if he took his time he could have got a few more quid, but he was happy with what he got, and fair enough. But like I say, if they're selling stuff that's been tested, and all of a sudden they've got a bit that ain't that's untested, something don't ring right to me, so I'll take that as not working, be more a better description in my eyes. Yeah, look, like I say, look around what they normally sell. You will find that people that just deal in HiFi, or second-hand HiFi, or old vintage HiFi, or electronic, their items seem to be a bit dear. Most of them do buy it now. Most of them do buy it now, to be honest, and they will be a bit dearer because they specialise in that thing, and people go to them thinking, oh, they deal with this, I know all about it, so I'm going to get a good, good piece off of us. Not always the case. Not always the case. What I mean, you've got to be very careful. They still sell rubbish, some of these people. So be a bit careful on there. And I'd rather go to someone that don't normally sell that kind of stuff. It's just a one-off. They don't always describe it properly, admittedly. They don't always test it properly, admittedly. But you can sometimes get a little bit more of a bargain there rather than paying a higher price. What I usually do is also study the pictures. Your main clue's the pictures there as well. Is look at the back of these items on the side where they took a picture of the side of the back. There's always screws holding these things together because they're made out of metal or wooden bits or whatever. I look for any rust or any corrosion on the screw. It gives me an indication where that item's been. If you get a bit of rust or corrosion, it could have been left in the shed, up in the attic or stuff like that. So if it's got rust on the outside, I know its chances are it's going to have a bit of rust on the inside as well. And it may be like on transistors or some bits in there could be going a bit rusty, like, or damp, so it's been in a damp place. So that would put me off a bit. Not if it's going really cheap, I'll take a chance. But yeah, it was one on there recently where it was really, like, you could see it was, you know, quite bad. And yet he described it as all lovely condition and everything. And yeah, the other thing to look out for is when they describe it as lovely, and they give a link to someone that's just reviewed it, some well-known, you know, person that deals in HiFi. He just gives it a review and he mixes his pucker, like, you know. And they give a link to that, or they give a great big long description of how good it is, like, and all fancy and everything. The bids, if it's a bidding one, which is quite a lot of times, it can be a bite now, but if it's a bidding one, the bids will go up higher because people look at that and think, oh, this is it, this is the one, you know what I mean? It's, look at that, look at this, look, oh, this bloke says this. It kind of draws you in and sucks the price up. I like one where geezer just says, I don't know, say for instance, the receiver we've got here, receiver for sale, tested working, end off, that's it, you know what I mean? Obviously you can ask him questions, does the bulb still work at the back and stuff like that. And that you know, have you tested every input and that? Because a lot of them don't test. I'll tell you what they don't test is quite a common one they don't test is the tape monitor button. You push that in, and it, you know, obviously you've got a tape, it brings the tape in, and you let go of it. And I've had a few amps where, and it didn't bother me because it's just an easy fix anyway. But you know, just a squirt on the control. But they let go of it, and only one speaker comes back because that switch is like dirty inside. And not everyone tests that. It's just one thing they don't test. But obviously other things they don't. But anyway, that's that. Yeah, just so look out for rusty screws and stuff like that. A picture inside's nice. Pictures inside's nice, so if you can see it's nice and clean. And that, have a good look at it. Look at the legs of the transistors and stuff like that. You know, they're nice and shiny still and stuff like that. Give you a good indication. Always a bit wary of people who've got blurry pictures. A nice clear picture gives you more of an indication. You get one that's slightly blurry or not very good, so you're taking a little bit of a chance there. People say it's rare, just double check, you know, if you don't know a lot about the item you're buying, just double check how many's been on there recently, how many's on there now, how rare is it really? They put the rare in there to bump up the price, and any novice would think, oh, that's rare, so it's worth a little bit more on there. It's not always the case. The looks really matter. I mean, you can get an item that looks really nice but don't sound that good, and vice versa, so it's up to you what you're looking for, what you're going for. But if it looks good, it seems to go for a bit more money. They seem to go for a bit more money, or good, you know, a make like Pioneer would command more than say maybe a Sansui receiver, where, you know, it's up to you if you've, you know, going by reviews or whatever. One may be better than the other, but look, you know, it may look good but not quite sound so good. So that's another thing. Is it silver or black and stuff like that? Just things to kind of bear in mind. Silver seems to be the rage at the moment, so they creep up in price rather than the black one comes down in price and stuff like that. So just things to consider. As for returns, I mean, you're going to get, I think it's inevitable. These are old stuff, 40 and 50 years old. You're going to get, if you're buying one, you're probably going to be all right. But if you're buying more than one, like I have, and I've had a couple recently, I've had to send back. How easy is it to send these back? Now, I'm not saying send them back because you don't like it. Oh, no, I don't like it, I'm going to send it back. Because, like, be fair to the seller, he's got to earn a living, and it's going to cost him postage. He's lost the money on the postage, he's just sent it to you. Plus, he's got to get it back to him as well. It's another postage he's lost. So be fair. But if he's a business seller, I've found that if you say you want to return it through eBay, it automatically comes up as a return. So you haven't really got much aggro there. But you know, if you've got a seller that's not a business, like a private seller, he's going to start debating, oh, there's nothing wrong with it and all that. And eventually eBay will let you send it back anyway. So just be careful, you know, maybe be careful that a business seller probably is a bit better to buy something off of them than a normal private seller. But either way, you will be able to send it back. But like I say, don't just use that as going through 10 or 20 of them deciding to the one you want. That would be unfair and, you know, not right. Let's have a look. Yeah, the 70s to 80s seems to be the ones that drawing people's attention at the moment for the vintage stuff. So, you know, depending on what kind of amplifier, I'm concentrating on that kind of year range. But if you were looking for an amplifier past then, and say like from 80s to 90s or 80s to 2000, you'd probably get an amplifier a lot cheaper than you would this kind of vintage amplifier. So you may get one that was like, I don't know, £150 in 1990, and yet now you can buy it for £40. It can quite easily happen like that. But yet, saying that, these receivers, these were expensive when they come out. £200 and £300 in the 70s was, you know, a lot of money in the late 70s. So yeah. Like I say, colour, yeah, I've done the colour bit. Yeah, I'm just reading from the notes here. Yeah, what you're going to buy, receiver, amp, turntable, well, yeah. I mean, I like the receivers. I mean, I've got amps as well, but I like the receivers because you've got the radio built in, and I think they just look a bit more nicer. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. They do look a bit more nicer, especially like, you know, on the side and out on the wooden thing. And they look a bit. But saying that, yeah, some of the amps look nice. So it's up to you if you're looking just for an amp or you're looking for a receiver. It's something to think about. You know what I mean? So yeah, so not really so much there, but you know, have a think about what you really need. But I mean, if you buy an amp, you can always get a tuner at a later date. But then you've got two items. It's like you've got one here and you've got one on the top. So yeah, something to think about. How much room you've got to put this thing in. There's just phono inputs. You mean you've got most people buying it, but some people buying it for record players, some people buying it for CD, some for both. Has it got a phono input? Is it really that important? Well, it isn't really that important. You can buy little phono preamps, like little boxes for about 20 quid. But a lot of these receivers have got quite good, or amps have got quite good, these integrated amps have got quite good preamps in for the phono stage. So it's another thing, if you like the look of it and it gets a good write-up sound-wise, but it hasn't got a phono input, then you can still get a little phono box so you can still use your record player. But 99% of these in the 70s have all got, because everyone was playing records then, so they've all got phono inputs. And also, how many other inputs has it got? If you've got a CD player, you can put it in it won't have CD on it because CD weren't about in the early 70s. So have a look. You're going to have to use the auxiliary or the tape monitor button. Just see it, and depending on how many more bits you add into it, see how many inputs it's got on the back to cater for all your inputs. I mean, you can buy another little switcher box, but it's more stuff you're adding to it, so and making it a bit more messy. So I'm saying, you know, just to bear in mind, I suppose. I always look at, when I buy one of these, I always look at the reviews. Not so much how it sounds, well, I do how it sounds, but also the faults. What are the common faults in these items? You will find, searching the internet, forums, that people's got one, and this happened, that happened. I mean, I think it's a Technics 400 or something. A receiver gets a common fault where the IC goes in the tuner part, so the tuner disappears, and to replace the IC, you can't get hold of it, or it's a nightmare, costly, or whatever. So I look at the common faults, and hopefully, like, it's not many common faults, then, you know, it's good, or it's common faults like capacitors or a transistor, and they're easy to get hold of, so that helps as well. If you're just buying a one-off, it's not so much if you're collecting them, because some people just collect it, if it works or don't work, they're happy enough to have it at the time and maybe get it mended later or whatever. Buy it now auction, but it depends really. Buy it now, it's always seems to be a bit dearer, or quite some of them are double the price, like especially Marantz stuff and that. They may be £300 on a buy, £300 in auction that goes for, but about £600 on a buy it now. It depends if one's been about recently. Yes, it's really up to you. But don't forget that buy it now. Some of them have got make an offer, and some of them just got buy it now and haven't got make an offer button there. But I've made a few offers. Just get in touch with them, send them a message, say, I'm interested in your item, will you accept so much for it? I usually come down about 25%, so if it's 150 quid, I'll knock, what, 30 or 40 pound off of that, say 40 pounds, so I'll offer them 110, and sometimes they say, they don't even hit them, you won't hit them, or they come back with a counter offer, 120 or 130, but I've had a few recently that I've given it 25% less or 20% less, and they said accepted it straight away, so yeah, just put an offer, what you're willing to pay, and you may be lucky, like. Yeah, like I say, if one's come up recently, then the prices seem to be good, but if nothing's been up there for ages of a particular model or particular model number, then obviously a lot of people, you know, it could be, a few people could be hanging around for that, and the price will creep up because one hasn't been on there for a while, so maybe you could let that one go and hopefully another one comes up again soon. And if you let a couple go, then a couple of bidders have disappeared, where it could be two bidders just bidding against each other. It could be like stuck at 100 quid with the third highest bidder, but then the first and second highest bidder have gone from 100 to 200. And once you've got them two out of the way, then all you're competing against is that £100 buyer. So yeah, maybe worth letting one or two go past. Pick up versus delivery. Obviously, pick up, you seem to get things a lot cheaper pick up, especially speakers, because a lot of people don't want to post them. And especially bid up, if they're doing a bid up on a speaker, you're not going to have many people bidding against you because not many people go and pick it up, like speakers, even these, like receivers, even amps. People don't want to send, or turntables, people don't want to send them in case they get broke, they'd rather just someone come and pick them up. They don't want to hassle with sending them through the post. So you can get some bargains, you know, within a reasonable distance of where you live. Look up for pickups, definitely, you know, worth looking around for pickups. I've had a few bargains, pickups half the price, to what they should be. So yeah, definitely worth it. Like I say, I've got good pictures. Check the pictures. You know, a nice clear picture's more of an honest picture, I think. Yeah, I've done about seller only dealing in HiFi. It's one just been reviewed on YouTube, like it's a Stereo Review X or Techmoan or someone else done a review of say this. It will make the prices higher. It seems someone sees the YouTube, think, oh, I fancy one, and then they go on eBay, and all of a sudden you've got a few bidders against you, so they will creep up. So that's something else to look out for. I look out for, like I say, I told you about the rusty screws in there, but sometimes you'll get one on there. People do clean them up, so they look all pucker, admittedly, but you will get one with cup stains and stuff like that on it, a few bits and bobs, and where the bloke hasn't dusted it or nothing. So that's an honest piece. You know what you're getting really, you know, as long as it works. Obviously, you have a cup stain. So once you get it, I've had them. You get it, clean it all up, and it comes up nice. And you tend to get that a little bit cheaper because people think, oh, that ain't in very good condition, but it only needs a wipe sometimes, and it's in good condition. You'll be surprised. And I don't know why they don't bother to clean it up, but they don't. They just leave it as it is. I've had it cup stained. You think, well, it took me 2 minutes to rub that off, and you could have got more money for it. But there you go. That's up to them. So, you know, send the questions. Does all the lights, because sometimes they ain't always got them with them lit up. You know, just got it like this in the picture. That's it. Does all the lights work? Send the question because, all right, ain't a deal breaker to me because most of these lights you get the set for £10–15, and they're fairly, most of them, there's a few tricky ones, but most of them are fairly easy to put in. I will do a video on a Marantz tuner I've got upstairs. I took apart, replaced the lamps, so you know, fairly straightforward. The lamps, well, it only took 4, I think, and a £10 for I think 10 or 8 of them, so really a £5 to do the lamps, and I got that, I would have said at half price really. Yeah, when you're searching eBay, look at other categories. When I say other categories, just put in other words like vintage HiFi, old stereo, stuff like that, stereo receiver, even tuner. Some people sell this receiver as a tuner. They think it's a tuner. They don't know what it is. They don't exactly know exactly. And they don't always put the model number. They may just say JVC tuner, no model number. So if anyone's searching for a particular model number, it's not going to come up properly, or it'll come up right down the bottom and they may miss it. So yeah, stick a few words in that vaguely resembles what it could be, and you'll be surprised what comes up. Like I say, you can go around car boot sales, second-hand shops, but you could be looking for a long time for the actual item you want. If you're after a particular item, then you're going to pay a little bit more and save you a lot of time and legwork on eBay. But if you're willing to go around and accept quite a few different ones, or any one, so to speak, then obviously like car boots, second-hand shops, places like Facebook Marketplace is another place, Spock, and this is all in the UK, by the way. Well, Facebook Marketplace must be elsewhere. Gumtree is another one where people just prefer the cash rather than advertising through eBay, all the aggro posting and that. You go around and pick it up. So plenty of places to look. It's not just all about eBay. I will give a little video or a little thing in one of the videos how to get this. Once you get it home, just test. Just give a little general test of how good it is. Like, not really how good it is, just to give an indication if there's anything major wrong with it. It's only a matter of measuring the voltage on the output, the transistor of the output of the device and the speaker terminals. And what I also like doing is some of these, not so much this one, but some of them have got silver knobs and there's a few different colour knobs on it or whatever, or some of them are black, some of them are silver, or turntables where they've got the weights at the back, or the little screw thing and the weight there. I like looking at an old picture where it was in the catalogue years ago, or someone that's got one, a nice picture of it. Make sure there's nothing missing, or a wrong colour knob or something like that. You know, there's no major deal breaker, but you know, you may get it, and 6 months later think, oh, that should have been a blue knob or a silver knob, not a black knob, and this weight should have been in the back, it's missing. You've got an idea of what it should be. Anyway, what I will do is I'll leave a link to a place where you can get some service manuals and some just normal operational manuals you can download of anything you buy, which will give you maybe not so much an insight, but give you how to use it or whatever. And also there's some reviews on there. They do reviews and whatever of anything you're looking at. You can see other people who's bought one and see what they think of it. It's not everything's reviewed, but it's quite a lot of them are. And they've got lots and lots of manuals. So I'll give a link to that. So that's about it really. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back up soon with another video, and probably about this tuner here that I bought, and a few tips how to test it and exactly what condition I got it in, what it was like inside, etc. And we'll move on from there. Okay, thanks very much for watching. See you all soon.